Welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I am your host, Mahad, and we're back with another review for the Italian GP. I am joined by Richard. How are we doing?
Not too bad, no, not too bad. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm good. We are joined by Cece. How are we doing?
Hello. Good, thanks.
She's back, everybody. People have been waiting.
I'm back. Wow, I'm back.
Kunle, how are we doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm all good. I'm tired from that whole weekend of racing, man. It just needs to be quali and race. I can't do this sprint quali thing, man. It's exhausting, honestly. But we'll get on to our review. It was an eventful weekend, if I'm being very understated, with everything that happened on the Italian GP. For those that are listening, Daniel Ricciardo won. Lando Norris second, Valtteri Bottas third. You're probably thinking, where's Hamilton and Max Verstappen? What happened to those guys? They had a crash on lap 26. And I think it's suitable for us to talk about this because considering they're both in a title challenge and considering that they are they're fighting for points right now and how close they are in the standings, these two crashing out in the way they did is absolutely shocking. I don't think I've ever seen this in Formula One in a very long time between two rivals. And for those that kind of want a little bit of a rundown about what happened, onto the first corner, Lewis Hamilton comes out of the pits. Max Verstappen's coming down the pit straight. And Max Verstappen thinks, oh yeah, there's a little gap there. Let me think I could squeeze in. And then ended up flying on top of Lewis Hamilton's car, both in the gravel, both done out here, basically. But I'm going to come to you first, Richard. Firstly, what did you think about the events leading up to that? And what did you think about the incident itself?
Well, the events leading up to that, I mean, people since Silverstone have been talking up that, there's going to be another incident, they're going to collide again, it's going to be another crash and whatnot. So people have been almost like speaking into existence in a way. So how this really got the ball rolling was because, Red Bull fucked up Max's pit stop. A mechanic forgot to press a button, Red Bull obviously always on point with the pit stops, but this time around, they were 9 seconds longer than what they usually are. Of course, the FIA mandate says, pit stops should now be 2 tenths slower as usual, but usually that shouldn't affect, the pit stops like too much in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, it's a massive fuck up for Red Bull and Verstappen and whatnot. So of course, Verstappen's basically.
I think he's frozen.
Get check on.
Oh, have I frozen?
No.
Hello.
I froze.
Yeah, I think I froze maybe.
That was you, Mahad.
Oh, sorry guys. Apologies to listeners.
Look, you moving mad. Right. Anyways, so so obviously this starts off with Red Bull fucking up the pit stop, and Max basically having to do almost like a check, almost a bit of a recovery job. So I thought, okay, cool. So then, of course, Mercedes' tactics was to do long on the hards and then switch to the mediums, but for some reason, they came in quite early on the hards, really and truly. I think it was maybe a lap or two just after Max pitted. So then, of course, Mercedes, had their pit stop, and then they took 4 seconds, not as bad as Max's pit stop, but, still not the greatest, really. So, of course, Lewis is coming out the pits. He's trying to see if he can get the jump on Norris. He doesn't. And then who does he come alongside? Of course, Max Verstappen. He then moves over to the left, goes to squeeze Verstappen, but, still gives him space. And then he hits the apex, going into turn 1. And, of course, going into turn 2, he has command of the racing line. Doesn't really give Max any space, but, we'll get into that just now. Of course, Max, being Max, he's reminds me of like a bit of a go-kart driver in a way. He's very much like, anyone who comes near me, they don't deserve any space, but if I'm going to attack someone, I deserve all the space sort of thing. It's quite an arrogant driver style that he does have, and this is, something that has affected him and other drivers for like the past 7 seasons, really. And, he's still only 23 and he hasn't learned his lesson. He's someone who's a multiple race winner, multiple podium, multiple pole positions, and he still hasn't learned his lesson after 7 seasons, which is quite shocking, to be fair. So, of course, going into this, as we've seen from turn 1 of Imola, we've seen before I think it was turn 4 early on in the race. Times where they have battled, and then Lewis, because he likes to play the long game, Max likes to play the short game. Lewis just went off into like escape road or went into sausage care, basically off track, and Max has went off into the distance or whatever. Of course, Lewis basically decided, what, I've got my car ahead of his car, so why should I give Max space? Maybe Max should yield this time. Max being Max doesn't believe in yield, and I can't remember the last time he's ever done that. Like, if someone can bring up footage of that, I'd love to see it, honestly, because I even found funny enough of him and Massa basically doing a carbon copy what happened to him and Lewis in a way, where basically Massa, I think, came out the pits, and also Max was out on the left-hand side, and then he's basically tried to come up on the inside of turn 2 of him, basically literally crashed into Massa, and luckily, when he went over to Sausage Cave, their rear wheels haven't touched down, his car hasn't landed on top of Massa's car. So he hasn't learned his lesson. When he's doing carbon copies of the same moves and it's not working, you think this time will work, what should you expect? Really and truly, I feel like it's mostly Max's fault. I did feel it was a racing incident at first, but that was just in the heated moments. Upon further reflection, I definitely feel it was Max's fault. You could say, okay, maybe Lewis could have gave a bit more room, but why should he? He's not obligated to give a bit more room. Max should be the one who's playing the smarts and really should have went down the escape road, or just yielded and tried to get him on, round one of the fifth down the racetrack and whatnot. So, people saying, Max was trying to kill him and and he meant it on purpose. Like, I don't truly believe that. I think he's just that aggressive. It can just look that way, really and truly. So it'll probably happen again. I don't want it to happen again because I want it to be the case of like fair racing at the end of the day. But this is just, I don't know if Max is going to be a multiple world champion if he's going to have the stubbornness, because how many times is he going to get away with this in terms of him being overly aggressive, crashing into someone, and then maybe or not him DNFing. You can't DNF your way to a world title. It doesn't work like that. That's never going to happen. So I just kind of wonder, like, because if a 180-mile-an-hour crash at cops doesn't teach you any lessons for you to change your behavior, and then you sit in your car on top of Lewis's car doesn't teach you any behaviors about you to change your lessons, I don't know what will, really and truly. And also people saying about, did Max check on Lewis? I have seen footage. He kind of did. He just didn't go up to him but he did turn his head to look at him, and then he seen Lewis's rear wheel spinning to reverse out, and then he just thought, maybe he's okay then, and they just kind of walked off. You wouldn't go near a live car to approach them to see if they're okay. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. You're second to tap on the head, say, hey mate, you all right? We've seen Russell slap Bottas, as I said, after a big crash. He got criticism, but he didn't get too much criticism at the end of the day. When people saying, Max is saying, why didn't he approach Lewis to see if he's okay? For we know, like, if you see him rear wheel spinning and trying to reverse out, he's assumed he's okay. So, yeah, at the end of the day, this is just, we don't want this to be the title race where it's just like back in the 90s where people are crashing into each other, but this is what we're getting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's come to this again, and it probably won't. There's probably be another one later on in the season. I don't think it's the last issue that we're going to have. But Cece, I just want to get your views on this. Whose fault is it in that corner? Who caused the incident in your eyes?
It was Max. I think Max had the most blame. Obviously, in that accident, there's always two people involved. There's two drivers, so you can't pin sole blame on one person. I actually think so. Side note: before this race, I was about to say, as in I was thinking, and I think I tweeted it. I said how Verstappen has been very mature this season, more mature. I think this is the most mature I've seen him drive personally. But I think after that slow pit stop, he was pissed. And I think he lost his head. That's the truth of the matter. I think he drove overly aggressive, like how I had seen before. Like this season, because he's had the stronger car, he's felt far more in control of races. And you can see it during his driving. Yesterday, we saw someone who didn't have the best car, who had an absolute shit stop. And so was beyond pissed and drove angry. That's what that was. That situation to me was him driving angry, but it was dangerous. That's why I didn't like it. There's a difference between being aggressive. I think Lewis has become more aggressive in his driving because he's thinking, I'm always backing out, I'm always giving down. And I believe it was Damon Hill. He said it in the interview at the, after race talk, post race talk. He was like, there's always been one driver avoiding accident. There's always been one driver avoiding contact, and that's been Lewis. And that's the truth. And obviously after, I think Spa was that moment where Lewis was like, nah, it's like, gloves off. It is a championship title and you aren't entitled. The arrogance that he has, if anyone should have that arrogance, it should be the 7-time world champion. Personally thinking, like, because you haven't done anything yet. But that's where Max was really wrong. It was dangerous. And even his statement at the end, that's what you get for not giving room. It's very aggressive. It's very like, okay, yeah, that's what you get when you don't give space. I don't think he understood how it sounded. Your car was on top of him. That's not the statement that you make in any way, shape or form. And I think that's why people then said, oh, he didn't even go and check on Lewis, It's because of that aggressive nature. If you even see, he walked out on track. After he got out of the car, he didn't walk on the gravel. He actually walked on the track. And I think it was a steward that was like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? But his head, like, he lost his head. Like, that was my final proof to know that Max had lost his head. Because for you to walk out on a live, like, because I know there was a yellow flag, but still, there are cars on the track. Like, you don't just walk out there. And I think if he had his head, he wouldn't have made that decision. So I think it was aggressive. And even like when you look at post-race, even Red Bull, when I heard the way they were talking, I knew that Max was in the wrong. Everyone on Twitter could see it because, what's his name? Oh God, what's the principal's name now? Karen. What's his name?
Karen Horner.
Karen Horner, thank you. Horner. Yeah, even him, like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna call it a racing incident. You see, if Lewis was at fault, if it was the reverse and it was Max's head that was underneath that car. What about Spa when they were saying he should be banned because it was an attack on
Silverstone?
Silverstone, sorry. Yeah. When they were talking about how, oh my gosh, like, yeah, it's a ban, like it was awful driving, a 7-time champion should know this. Listen, Max has been driving for I don't know how many seasons. Everyone's like, oh, he's 23.
7.
He's been driving for like 7 seasons.
Yeah,
7. So he should definitely know better and do better. And Karun has said it. And Damon was like how he doesn't like it. Like for someone to come out and actively say that they do not like that style of driving, you need to understand that British people don't like drama. They don't like being in the wrong, and they won't support Lewis just because he's English. In fact, most of them don't like him. So for them to come out and say it, everyone needs to understand that Max was completely out of order.
He was. You made a good point about him being head loss. Even if you hear the radio after the pit stop to his team, he said, "Don't speak to me until it's critical. Don't chat to me." He was fuming. So he probably saw Lewis come out of the pits, and he saw that the red mist distended a little bit, and he saw a gap. Yeah, it's what people call a Maldonado space. That's not a real space. It's a fake space. The gap that was there was not a real space.
There were other drivers were saying you cannot put your car there. If it's not a space if you can't put your car there. And I think that was the whole point. I can't remember who it was. It was I can't remember who it was. I've forgotten his name. I'm so sorry, guys. But basically, he was like, if you put your car here, you are going to hit someone. He said, you are, as a driver, you do not have this space. He was like, no driver can sit there and look at that and think, yeah, I can pass. So it doesn't matter if his car bumped on the sausage curb, which Paul di Resta was trying to say was the problem. His bias is crazy.
His analysis is trash, by the way. It's horrendous analysis.
Awful.
I couldn't.
And the thing is, for for the commentators to be live disagreeing like how they were, like Damon Hill was looking at PDR funny. He was actually eyeing him like, what are you talking about? Because obviously the sausage curd made Verstappen jump up on, that's what made him kind of land on top of Lewis's car. But that collision would have happened even if not for that curb because of the way Max was driving. Yeah.
To those who think as well that I've seen people arguing, saying Lewis should have gave more space. If he gave space, he'll end up on the gravel. If they both went around the corner, they're not both going around that corner at the same time at the angle that they were at. Secondly, I personally think that Lewis should have been more aggressive on that corner and should have just closed off the apex completely. Because if you look at the first lap, when it was the other way around, when it was Max and Lewis had to go off, there was no space whatsoever because Max stuck it straight on the apex and then Lewis had no option but to go over the thing. So Lewis kind of had to commit from the first corner to kind of say, I'm locking off that apex. So Max has only got that place to go. That might have led to a penalty or whatever, stewards investigating it. But guess what? You're not out of the race at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
I know it's kind of weird to say, match aggression with aggression, but you kind of can't leave any kind of door open.
It's definitely true though. Because it's funny enough, I seen a video literally just then analysing the crash, and he literally said that what you just said, Mahad, Lewis actually should have been more aggressive to force Max down the escape road, and then they wouldn't have crashed. So really and truly, not to say it's mostly Lewis's fault or anything, but really and truly Lewis's fuck up because he was being too nice in that situation. Had he had Max's sort of aggression,
Lewis
he would have been, you know what I mean?
But Lewis is a respectful driver. Think about, did you not see the comments that Seb made? I don't know, Seb and Lewis's relationship is so cute because he really loves him clearly. But he was saying, and it's true, Lewis has had many rivals, like championship rivals. Okay, maybe not Bottas, but like Seb, what's his name?
Rosberg.
Thank you.
Rosberg.
Yeah, like
Rosberg, yeah.
But he doesn't DNF. He doesn't clip. He doesn't crash. Like Seb, how many battles have they had? Seb was like, if there's one person I would want to battle, it is Lewis, because I think Lewis is still going by respectful, even though he's being slightly more aggressive. I think that Max has no respect. And the funniest thing is, I was thinking right the other day that I think other drivers are going to end up absolutely hating him. Not because obviously he's 23. He's going to stay in. Norris, George, all them lots that are his mates, in a sense, they're going to now see what Lewis is struggling with. Because I think he's a nasty driver. He's good. I won't take that away from Max, but I don't like his style of driving. Like he's very like back in the day, like 90s, like don't care, like fuck it up. Am I allowed to swear? Sorry.
Yeah, you're allowed to swear.
No, don't worry. Get in your bag. Get in your bag.
But yeah, that's literally how he is. I would say.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen Kunle. He's waiting patiently. First of all, I want to get your thoughts on the crash from your side of over in Toronto, but also I want to kind of like delve into the pit stops as well. Like with this question, I've been thinking it's rattling in my head. Lewis was on hards. Everybody pitted. Lewis could just be leading the race.
He was on a young hard, yeah.
His tires were not dusted in that race. They pitted Lewis when they saw that Verstappen had a slow pit to cover Verstappen. Do you think that was the right choice? And what do you think of the incident as well?
I mean, I don't want to talk about the incident itself because what's been said it's already been said. Like Max is an idiot. He's an idiot. At that moment, he was an idiot. Decent driver, but at that moment, he was an idiot. Like I watched that replay over and over, and like anyone that had a brain, anyone that had sense, knows a car does not fit in there without one person crashing. And in that case, two of them crashed, that's by the corner. But like the build up to that was just, I don't know. I think I was in the chat. My stream was probably the one that was farthest the most. Because I put in the chat, like, why the fuck are Mercedes pitting now? And everyone's like, what, they're pitting? Like, who's pitting? It's like, Lewis. Like, why are they pitting? Because it made no sense. The whole point of starting the race on hards was to go further than the guys on soft. And considering that he had just gotten past Norris, like, that was what was in front of him. Norris was in front of him. He had gotten past Norris. He's in clear air. He probably put about 1.5 seconds, like 3 corners after getting past Norris. And he comes into the pit. And I'm there like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And then the pit stop is slow. Mercedes, we need to have a conversation because it is getting diabolical. Like I said this before, I think the heat of the battle is getting to them. They're like, they don't know what they're doing these days. Like, they're making wrong strategy calls, they're making wrong pit calls, they're making wrong tire choices. Everything is just wrong, and they're looking like Ferrari, but they're looking like Ferrari in the 17-18 season. It's a bit. It's looking. I know,
bro.
I know.
It makes no sense to. Why are you trying to cover Verstappen? Verstappen is not your concern. Verstappen is not winning the race. He's not going to win the race. You're trying to catch Ricardo.
Right? It's 53 laps, right? They had done 20 laps at that point.
It was early in the race.
They had done 20 laps at that point.
It was early.
You expect that regardless of what was going on, they would go about at least 6 to 7 laps more. And then I don't know, maybe they were thinking of a 2-stop, but no one two stops in Monza.
If you're 2-stopping on hards, why did you stop with hards in the first place?
Why did you start with hards in the first place?
Yeah.
You could have got past Norris a long time ago if he was on mediums.
Yeah.
What was the whole purpose of it? This is the whole. They saw Verstappen have a slow stop and they wanted to cover him. Why do you care about covering him? Your goal is to win the race. Your target should be Ricardo, not what Verstappen is.
And to make it worse, they didn't even cover properly.
They didn't cover properly. I saw Norris and Max on the pitch.
And they've done this before. And they've done this. This is not the first time.
What race was that? I don't know. What race was this when they had a slow stop?
Yes, I know.
Monaco.
Stop. Was it not? It wasn't Monaco. I think it was Barcelona, where Red Bull had a slow stop right in front of them, and everyone was like, "Pit him now! Pit him now! Pit him now!" Like, because it was right behind him before. And then they had the slow stop. It was like, okay, pit him now. But no. But you know what? That's to like that. Yesterday was just a crash that would possibly happen again. Because I know from now on, I don't think Lewis is going to look at the bigger picture again and back out. Because he's backed out one too many times. And it's so funny because Max is saying, oh yeah, you need 2 people to work together. This guy has been doing that for you, like, from race 1. From Bahrain, he's been avoiding these crashes. Imola in the rain, same thing happened. I think Portugal as well, right? Avoided. First time they came together was Silverstone. And, Silverstone could have been avoided. Yesterday, it really didn't need to happen. Like, if you look at the point of contact, the escape road is right there, literally. Like, do a little left, and you both go through that corner, safe. Just a little left.
He was angry. He was angry about the pit stop, and he was rattled as well. Because if Lewis comes out that corner ahead of him, he ain't catching it. Red Bull's been slow all weekend.
This is not Barking, bro, Mahad. This is not Barking Road. This is not Woodgrange Road. It's just one. You can't be doing road rage in Monza, Temple of Speed.
That's why there was a question of was it malicious? Did he think if I'm not making this corner, he's not making this corner too? And I don't think anyone aside from Max is gonna know the true answer to that. But in that moment, honestly speaking, Max being Max, I cannot say.
my favorite thing about the whole thing was when I don't know who the Sky reporter was that did the pen interview with Max, and she goes, "Oh yeah, the first lap something similar happened. What about that?" And he goes,
He said it was different.
And it was rattled.
I was like, no, it's a different situation. Every time
it was rattled. It was rattled. It was rattled. And like I said yesterday, like if there was a remote chance of Lewis being at fault yesterday, if there was one chance, a little remote chance of it being Lewis's fault, then we know what the Red Bull crying machine's like. They cry hard. They cry loud.
They knew. That's why they didn't say
so,
anything. It's a racing incident. They knew already. They can't really defend them in that situation.
Watch how this goes on until the next race.
It doesn't need to.
I mean, it's not going to go on.
Can I ask a question about the penalty?
Yeah.
I was about to bring that up now. So,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. So with the three race penalty, with the three grid penalty, whatever it's called. Are they allowed to do it on the same day they are doing their engine change?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, they can.
Because if you
no.
What would happen is the free grid place penalty would apply. Let's say you qualified, second or third. They'll do that, and then they'll just change the engine the night before, and then they'll start last.
Yeah.
So
that's what I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna. I don't know what is.
It's Sochi. No tires don't degrade in Sochi.
Yeah.
So So it's going to be a bit hard on them, but they had to. I think they're just gonna. I think this has made the decision for them that the next race is when Max takes his penalty does the engine.
Because he has to do it. He has to do it
anyways. Lewis has to do it as well, but he's probably going to do his now at Sochi because of this big penalty.
Does Lewis have to do it though?
He does.
They want to. Mercedes keeps saying it. They're saying his engine's is degrading.
Yeah,
if you could compare the lap speeds of what Bottas was doing on a fresh engine,
exactly.
Hamilton was doing. Something's wrong. I'm going to come to you, Richard. Do you think, for listeners, the FIA did come back? They gave Max a free grid place penalty for the next race in Sochi. Richard, do you think that's an appropriate? Do you think it's too lenient? Do you think it's too harsh? What's your thoughts?
I would have gave it a bit more, at least 5, to be honest with you. But it's a funny one because it's like, are you punishing for? I can't remember what to say. It's not, but some YouTuber says it. Are you punishing for the incidents? Yeah, that's it. Are you punishing for the outcome or for the incident itself? So if Max hit that sausage gate and his rear wheels didn't touch with Lewis's for him to spin on top of the car, if they just crashed side by side and both DNF, would that still be a free grace period penalty? I don't know. Maybe it's because the dramatics of the accident maybe influenced that, perhaps. I've only read little bits of the steward's notes, but yeah. So I think it probably should have gave it just a bit more because of how aggressive Max was being, really and truly. I wouldn't have blamed them if they gave a 10-place grid penalty, but as you said, it's kind of redundant if they're going to change the engine, really and truly. So we're kind of just arguing over nothing because it's almost like a master plan by Red Bull, for that to happen then, and then you can conveniently change the engine. So you can almost say maybe it should be applied to a race where they haven't got an engine change, so they actually get affected, per se. But yeah, I feel it should have been a bit more, at least 5, I say.
Yeah, I initially said 10 from my initial look of it, and then I kind of retrospectively looked at what happened in Hungary where Bottas and Stroll were moving like terrorists and they only got 5. So when they're doing that and they only get 5, I think maybe 5 was appropriate. 3 is a bit lenient but at the end of the day, it doesn't affect them anyway because of them taking the engine penalty. So they got off. I do think
it was good he got the penalty though. Yeah. I think the FIA also did it as a slap on the wrist, like, bro, you can't keep doing this. Do you get what I mean? Everyone wants to keep the championship fight alive, but I think they kind of had to. People, I don't know why some Max fans have like loose screws in their head because how can they say they should have a 10-second? He should have a 10-second penalty. where
No. There was some
Hey,
people
you're
say,
to kill me, Mahad. When
no.
Say with the 10 seconds.
I saw.
No.
It wasn't a Max fan. It was a Hamilton fan that was saying he should get a 10-second penalty because Hamilton got a 10-second penalty in Silverstone, but he's out of the race. So where does it apply?
Do you know what? Everyone's got screws loose in their head. I think that the 3-5. I mean, that's up for debate. But I'm happy that Max got it. I think he's been driving aggressively, and yesterday he took it one step too far. And I think that will hopefully be in the back of his mind now, because what he can't afford is he can't afford to cause an incident or cause something like that again. And then either he goes on to knock himself out or someone else out and then has a good penalty again, but doesn't have the engine change. So you're sacrificing your championship. Or your championship fight. So I think this will hopefully be in the back of his mind now that, look, Jack, like, I can't really get away with it anymore. They've seen me. They know that I'm a good driver. So I'm going to have to be careful now. It's almost like a yellow card in a football match.
He ain't gonna learn from it.
He's not gonna.
Let me tell you why he's not gonna learn from it. Yeah, this is not a guy that plays the long game. I don't even think he looks at races in the context of the season. He just like, okay, I'm in a race. My goal is to win the race. He doesn't think about, oh, if I go out this race, it's gonna affect my title or anything like that. He's literally just gets in the car, does the race, and then goes to the next race. He's just taking it one at a time. So if you've got that type of mentality, why would you learn from the previous race? He's not looking back. He never looks back at the old race. He just takes each race as it can.
Do you know, I had hoped, to be fair, this season, as I said, I felt like he was the most mature I had seen him. I'm hoping that, because if he wants to be great, that is the one thing he's going to have to learn. Like, look at Seb and look at Lewis. Those are people who have done what not many people, Lewis has only, one other person has only done that, have done. So that is something. So I hope if Horner has sense, he will talk to him. He will never say it out loud, out in public. But you know, people like back home, have a chat, be like, bro, you need to call it. Like, you can't, because even Horner was saying how matured he's been this season. So I think even Horner would have been disappointed. He won't say it. He won't do anything. But trust me, like, he's not stupid.
Yeah, no. Listen, they're gonna mollycoddle him. They're gonna look after him. They've probably fired the guy that didn't press the button on the pit stop. They're gonna blame everybody else bar him. So you know what the situation is, but that's just how it is. The halo. That's what I want to speak.
Yeah,
about.
shout to the halo. Shout to the hands. The
without
base.
the halo.
Yeah, all that.
We might have lost Lewis Hamilton yesterday. This is quite serious, to be fair.
Yeah, that was quite.
Without this halo.
I mean, even with the halo, did you see
his helmet?
Did you see the helmet?
His helmet was very damaged.
Yeah.
So we can kind of see, look how far we've come, because the halo's only been here since what, 2018, I think.
Yeah.
So something like that. Yeah.
17,
it saved
This is one of the few.
Saved Charles as well at 2018 Spa.
And what about Grosjean as well?
Was it Alonso?
Grosjean,
that's the biggest one, of course.
Yeah. I think
there's something wrong. There's something wrong because we had a long period of time where we didn't have anybody pass away, and then the second we get a halo, that's 3 incidences where somebody could have passed away in the sport. So the safety precautions, it stood up. That halo, it didn't bend, it didn't flex or anything like that. So I think it's really a good safety precaution, and I'm glad Lewis Hamilton is okay. He moaned. He said that his neck is stiff. Obviously, your neck's going to be sticky for a car landed on your head.
It caught a quick one to New York still.
And then now he's in New York.
Quick Met Gala. Mahad and Flash, you're not there as well. Why you here? I thought you were the Met Gala.
Drip's got a drip still, like.
That drip?
Yeah, Drip got a drip still.
Drip got a
But
drip.
did the suit not come in time? Did the Tom Ford suit not come in time, Mahad? Is that why you're...
No, I don't know what the Met Gala is. I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
I'm here to talk about Formula 1, guys.
Okay, then. Okay.
And to talk about Formula 1, I had a very good weekend, as people may know.
Hey,
We back. McLaren is back.
We're
Papaya
back.
boys.
We're back.
Papaya boys.
We're back.
I'm gonna be totally shameless and honest here. For those that are listening, those that are watching for the first time, I am a McLaren
Go off,
fan.
King.
I have suffered for 9 years.
King.
Yeah,
You've
I've seen my team compared to Williams.
Yeah,
like we were dusted, we were done out here.
You've gone for a young Kevin Magnussen, Stoffel Van Dorn, Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, Charlie Whitman,
our car broke down
Ron
every
Dennis,
5 seconds, and we were
Honda
slow.
Power Unit.
Power unit.
Sing that shit.
It was.
Sing that shit.
It was horrible.
Sergio Perez.
Hard times.
Boy.
But guess what?
You've been through it.
First we got the win. Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, 1-2. The only team this season to get 1-2. We're here. We're back.
Heritage. You know what?
We are heritage.
You know what makes it
heritage.
You know what makes it better?
Heritage performance.
You know what makes it better?
You did it on off block as well. You did it on off block.
Pull up on the up block.
He said, "Oh, spin this coupe. I just seen something." I love that.
I couldn't believe it. I had to
you had tears in your ass. I
had to speak to every Ferrari fan I knew. No, to say, look, your team is finito.
Jaquan, talking about you two.
I'm scared now because if you think about it, I only realized this just before the pod. The team that wins in Monza, the next race in Monza, they DNF. So we had Leclerc win, and then the next year, both Ferraris DNF. Then Gasly won. They're both AlphaTauris DNF. So yeah, I ain't watching Monza next year. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
Enjoy the moment.
So I'm enjoying the moment.
Enjoy it.
I'm gonna come to you first, Kunle. What did you think of McLaren this whole weekend? What was your rating of their performance? Break it down for me.
You know what? The first things first. Shout out Danny Rick, because I've been on his neck. If anyone has been on Danny Rick's neck, it's been me. I've been stepping on bro's neck. Like, it was so bad. His friends couldn't even say they were at the paddock. That's how bad it was. It's been through the mud. So shout out Danny Rick. That was, he did what he had to do. Composure. He did qualifying, sprint qualifying. Everything was beautiful. I think McLaren all weekend had the pace, even from practice. Outside of Mercedes, it looked like McLaren could possibly do a 10 or 2. And they did what they had to do. And I don't really like Zach Brown because his face pisses me off. But
Hey. No Zach Brown slander.
He said
I get it. No Zach Brown slander. I get it. But
I hear it, I hear it.
But what is done with that team, is they've started to make the right choices driver wise. They're making the right choices with the drivers. They're making the right choices with the engine as well. I mean, could they have stuck with Honda all these years and then pulled it out of the bag? Maybe, but you can see that Mercedes, if McLaren Mercedes sounds better than McLaren Honda, even though McLaren Honda is the heritage McLaren, but McLaren Mercedes in the modern times, in the V8 times, this hybrid era, it's what it's giving what it's meant to give, and I'm saying it and I'm respecting and I'm enjoying it. So all year long, McLaren have been there. Lando's been doing his podiums. He's been getting these accolades that he deserves to get. I feel like if you're gonna say most improved, I'll take Lando right now. If we end the season today and give anyone most improved driver, I'll give it to Lando and Danny Rick redemption arc, man. It's hard not to be happy at Danny Rick winning a race. I feel like that's one of the few drivers that everyone, regardless of who you support in F1, you like. Regardless of who you support. You see Danny Rick, you're like, oh, I like that. Even my little sister likes Danny Rick. And she does, she just sees his name. Oh, Danny Rick. I like Danny Rick too. So, yeah. Shout out McLaren. Doing it on the up block. Little cheeky shit Austria at the end. Having the drivers side by side. We love it. Bring shit Austria back to F1. Make things fun again. And yeah, congratulations to everyone involved, fans. It might not, and another one might not come until next year. You never can tell, but it's glad it's good that McLaren are in positions to win races on merit, because I don't think, even if Lewis didn't crash with Max, I still think they had everything to win that race and also still get two cars on the podium. And the crash, that's nice to have, but it was, I mean, they pulled away. Look at Danny Rick, last lap, fastest lap. If they wanted to clear, I think they could have gone clear from time, but they did what they had to do. And yeah, I'm glad, I'm happy, and long may it live. A competitive McLaren is good for F1, regardless of what you want to say about other teams or not. You want to see McLaren at the front. You want to see Ferrari at the front. I don't give a fuck about Ferrari. I don't like Ferrari. But you want to see McLaren.
I don't like Ferrari too. Oh my god. Richard, do you like Ferrari?
Me free. Oh.
Let me say this, yeah. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, McLaren Constructors titles.
Oh.
I'm saying it now.
Oh.
Kite out.
Oh. We're here. At minute 42.
Yes.
Oh,
kite out.
Okay.
We're here. I'm letting the streets
don't you
know.
think, as much as I wouldn't mind saying that, don't you think it's, it might be a bit of a shit show next season because you're still developing the car now so you can bank on P3 because somehow you man is still broke? André Saddle. So do you think, what happened in 08? When the regulation changes? Or you might put your eggs in 08, then 09 you went to shit. So the Ferrari to be fit. So, enemies and friends, whatever, all that shit. So do you think it's going to happen again next season?
I think they should stop. They should stop developing the car. We got no tokens anyway, so what are we doing? We can't develop the car. We spent all our tokens on the engine.
Yeah.
We spent all our tokens on putting the Mercedes engine in. We don't have any more tokens to do development.
It was weird. Mercedes are nasty with that token and with the engine on all the engines on the token, no? It's like, let's give them the engine, but next year, no aerodynamics, no downforce, no low grade, nothing.
Hey, listen, it's all up in the air. We can't say. None of us can predict who will be good next year. We can't. There's no evidence base to say okay who's when it gets to winter testing, we'll find out.
Yeah,
we all know Haas is going to be a shit show, and that's about it. We could all be wrong right now. And Williams be the fastest car. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Let's see if you're in our bond title race. You're pull the plug.
Listen, Williams got more money than us. We're finished.
It's true.
It's true though. It's true.
What I will say is let's give Danny Rick his flowers. Danny Rick, Lando Norris. What I'll say is this is a McLaren masterclass whole weekend. We were fast. Fast as hell.
Very fast.
Fast in qualifying. Fast in the sprint qualifying. The Red Bull's not faster than us. I think the only car that was faster than us was Valtteri Bottas.
Valtteri's car.
That was the only person that was faster than us this weekend. In terms of strategy, I'm gonna be totally honest here. This is how much of a homer I am. The second I saw Max Verstappen and Lewis tires touch, I started celebrating because I said we're gonna win the race. I knew them man were gone. They ain't winning the race. We're winning the race. But it just had to decide who's gonna do it. What we did in terms of after the red flag and everybody, the cars got taken off the track and so on, was a masterclass because I don't think people realized that we started a DRS train on purpose, so nobody could overtake anybody from behind us. So we had Lando Norris quickly went on the restart, dunking on Leclerc quickly.
That was critical.
Talk about it.
Once we did that, we just stayed. Lando Norris and Ricciardo just stayed within 1 second of each other and just created a DRS train.
But from that point, Danny Rick to hurry up, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was at one point. He felt like he was under pressure.
And he tried to do team orders.
He tried to do it. He tried to do it, but I don't think that works around it. He kind of realized what he said was like, "Hurry up! That is undercover for team orders. Let's switch."
Yeah,
but
he said it was. He said I can't remember how he said it. He said it's best for the team if we stay like this or something like that. It was just a question of what is team orders. And then someone on the mic was like, "Yeah, everything's fine. Fine how it is. Remain how it is. All good."
Yeah. That was it. Needed to be like that.
He tried it,
but it needed to remain like that.
I mean, it's one of them ones where you go to When you go to your mom,
Okay,
like,
if I'm the team principal, if I'm Seidel, I would rather have the guy that's won races up front than the guy that hasn't won a race. Because I feel like the guy that's up front is not going to mess it up. He's experienced in leading a race and leading laps rather
and
than.
also, I just think it was unnecessary. I don't think either one was under that much pressure for it to be a necessary thing. It's not like Norris was the championship fighter. There was no. I don't think there was any reason to do it, even if it was to be done. If that makes sense. Like team orders usually comes in when there's a need for it, and there was just no need.
Team orders came in last week in Zandvoort for Ricciardo, and Ricciardo ended up not getting points. And he said, "What was the point of that? Could they let Norris go ahead of Ricciardo?" So maybe some payback for that, and said, "Okay, Ricciardo, get your flowers and so on." But
I think letting
But do you think
Ricciardo
they'll sacrifice a win for that? That's what I'm saying. I just feel like it's a podium that you're asking someone to sacrifice for not much. Like Norris was able to defend well. I don't really feel like he was under that much pressure from what I remember. So
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
there was no overtaking happening. Once
no
Bottas got stuck behind Perez, the race was done.
It was done.
The race was done. So
Pérez, eh?
we're gonna get onto that. We're gonna get onto that in a little bit. Firstly, this was for listeners and viewers. This was another sprint qualifying weekend. So we had qualifying on Friday, sprint qualifying on Saturday, and the race on Sunday. Sprint qualifying, I think it was a bit of a snooze fest, but we did have an eventful start. Richard, firstly, break down what happened at the beginning of the sprint race, and what do you think of the sprint races? Should we keep them or not?
Well, I'll get onto that, but I'll get onto the start of sprint qualifying. I'm trying to remember now. I'm trying to confuse with the other start. Yes, so Lewis had an awful start, one of the worst starts I've seen in years. Got absolutely slapped up by the McLarens, I think it was. Who else was it? I can't remember.
Gasly.
Yeah, Gasly as well.
Both
Bottas was on pole.
Yeah. That's what it was, Gasly as well. Because even Lewis was like panicking. He was trying to squeeze Norris into the wall as well. Quite not as aggressively, but you could tell he was panicking because the start was so bad. He was getting slapped up by everyone. It was a good start by Max. Yeah, no.
Max and Bottas. Bottas.
I can't remember it now. Shit. Yeah, Bottas. Yeah, sorry. Great start from Bottas. Bottas took off. Like he's driver. Danny Rick's my driver of the race, but Bottas is driver of the weekend because he was flawless throughout the whole weekend. Qualifying on point, sprint quali on point, race day on point. I don't care if he had a new engine; it was absolutely on point. This is a stark contrast from was it Imola, where he almost got slapped up by Russell and then crashed into, but he couldn't ever take no one. This is a completely different Bottas, completely. So yeah, Bottas took off, the McLarens took off, Verstappen took off, Lewis was scrambling, then Gasly ended up hitting Danny Rick, and then unfortunately his wing went up and he crashed out. Really unfortunate. Bottas was absolutely flawless. Yeah, so it was really solid from basically the McLarens and from Bottas as well. But as a sprint quali, it was dead. Like I don't like it. It was dead, and it's just almost a bit of an oxymoron that sprint quali has almost been the reason for, in a way, Lewis and Max have collided, really and truly. You know, sure. You can put it as that, really and truly, because you say if sprint quali wasn't there, and then maybe if Sunday was just the usual day, then maybe then there would have been a messed up pit stops, then he would have collided, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't like it's the way it's the top three for points. I don't like that. It should be Helmut Marko said a couple of weeks ago. If it's a third of a race, it should be a third of the points. That makes sense. If we get bloody going Spa and then doing 2 laps behind the safety car and getting half points, why is it then we're doing a third of the race and we're getting the top three get 3 points, 2 points, 1 point? It doesn't make any sense. What is the point in that? It should be the case of sprint quali should be like a sprint race, like an F2. It should be the case of, right, you want to do like maybe reverse grid or something, or like whatever. You just go fresh out, top 10 get a third of the points, and then you actually qualify on the Friday, should qualify and race where they are on the Sunday. Not this redemption arc Saturday bullshit that, you get to do. You know, with Alonso, you know, he seems to like enjoy the sprint qualifications because he makes up quite a few places. I don't like it. It looks fugazi. It's a way to bring new fans in and, you know, give people a full weekend. Nah, I'm not on it. I think they should scrap it. But I think they're just going to give at least 5 races next season. I think that's going to be shit, to be honest with you.
5? Oh, my God.
I've heard Osborne say about 5, 6, yeah. You're trying to talk up that. But whether they get it through the line or not, I don't know. But there's definitely, I know there's definitely going to be 2 or 3.
5 is a lot. Like 5 is a lot, to be fair.
It is. No, it is.
My Friday's back. I was watching bloody Quali on a commute.
I want to be watching Quali 12 o'clock on a Friday. Man. I live in Canada.
5 p.m. for us. It's like the evening.
I live in Canada, man.
Yeah.
No, it's a Friday.
Even the sprint race.
It's just, yeah.
It was like
Exactly.
3:30, like during on Saturday. Why would I be home at 3:30 on a Saturday?
I lie.
It's early.
Exactly.
Like Saturday qualifying's early. It's like 12. You watch it, then you go about your day. This was like in the middle, like smack bang. No.
And then Quali's on a Friday night on a commute after work.
Fam,
at 5 o'clock. Not even
make
like
any
7
sense.
o'clock, 5 o'clock.
No, man. They need to stop that.
Wow.
So we all agree.
I'm not adding anything.
Quali
It's not. I don't think it's actually adding much.
Yeah.
And no one's enjoying it. Though. That's the thing. No one's enjoying it.
That was a very boring race. Apart from the start.
Even the drivers aren't enjoying it. Too tough.
No.
Yeah, they're not really talking it up, are they? It's just any point. Unless you want to turn it, as I said, into a sprint race, just scrap it. Because the sprint race would be much more exciting. But this sprint quali bullshit, it just makes it look fugazi. It's just I'm not on it.
The race before the race. It's not really.
I'm totally on it. I'm totally against it. To be fair, call me a traditionalist. Just give me Quali on Saturday, race on Sunday.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to take up 3 days. Don't take up 3 days of mine.
You know what's annoying?
Yeah.
You know what's annoying? The sprint. The qualifying that happens on a Friday is actually more exciting because, like, if you look at Silverstone, like everyone remembers that Hamilton lap that it did to get pole. That's not pole. And look at Bottas as well on Friday. He got a pole. Oh, man, that guy's got bad luck, man. Good luck to him. He's got a pole on the weekend that is not going to get pole.
Hey, listen, he got a pole in the qualifying. He got pole in the sprint qualifying, and ended up starting last.
Yeah, he's such a.
So this is the most unluckiest guy. Mercedes literally could have thought about it and thought maybe not take the penalty and have the 2 marks. But they decided to take it today.
Monza is one of the easiest places you can take a penalty and make up plays.
He proved it.
Yeah, he proved it. No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He proved it.
Someone that would have been Hamilton.
He drove better than Hamilton this weekend.
He did
far better. Far better. That's what I'm saying. You would have hoped. Normally, Bottas has these screw ups. It's not really Hamilton, but this whole weekend, obviously qualifying, Hamilton did well. He didn't stick it on pole, which was disappointing as well. I feel like I was slightly disappointed in Hamilton. As much as the accident, I don't believe was his fault. I think he could have done things that wouldn't have even been an issue in the first place. I was slightly disappointed with his drive in general.
The whole weekend?
The whole weekend. Compared to when I compare how Bottas did, like if Bottas was Hamilton, I would be ripping into him. And that's the truth. Like when on sprint quali, I was furious because I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I think any Mercedes fan, I saw a lot of Hamilton fans trying to come to his defense, and I was just like, there is no defense. He should have done better. Any driver that did that, I was sorely unimpressed.
It's not the first time he's had a weird start at the online. He had a problem with the sprint quali in Silverstone as well, where he was a bit slow off the line. There was a couple other races where he was a bit slow off the line. He's not usually that slow off the line, so I don't know whether it's a problem with the car because
the Mercedes start this year hasn't been great.
So there's something wrong
in general have slipped.
I think the starting procedure has not been the best this year. maybe it's the clutch thing, maybe it's because there's a lot of wheel spinning that happens.
There's something wrong with the second phase when you
exactly. You see that the first phase, most of the time, the first phase is fine, but you see the second phase is where like you just see Max go off, boom, and it's gone, and that's where Mercedes have struggled a lot this year. Like,
it's so ironic because last year that was Red Bull's problem, where Albon and Max would just be stuck on the line. They'll be so slow off the line, and now Mercedes now have that problem. It's so strange, but.
It's weird as well because sorry, just to touch on that, I seen on a little graph as well, and that's been Quali, that in terms of who got 220 miles an hour the fastest, Norris done in 4.2 seconds, and they was doing 5.2 seconds. So there's definitely a massive issue in terms of the start. If your customer team with the same engine is getting top speeds a lot quicker than you, so yeah, they definitely need to look into
that.
Even the Williams was fast on the straights. That's what I'm saying. There's something wrong.
And they haven't done any
Mercedes.
To be fair, Lewis has kind of not been complaining, but he keeps on talking about the upgrades and how they've had none, and every time Red Bull have some. I don't know if Mercedes didn't realize how strong Red Bull would be coming into it and had already actioned some plans that meant that they wouldn't have as many upgrades from far earlier. If that makes sense. And it's almost like they're too far in to try and change and start doing loads of upgrades. But I don't think they realized how good. And I don't think anybody quite realized how much the Red Bull would improve and how much the regulation changes would affect Mercedes cars. Because obviously that's what affected Aston Martin, Mercedes as well. So I think a lot of things have made it so that Red Bull have come up a lot further.
And Red Bull's going to continue to upgrade until the end of the season because guess what? I'll tell you guys right now.
They're going to throw everything at it because
if they win any titles, whatever, that is Horner and Helmut Marko's job secured for another 10 years. All they need is one.
And beating Lewis.
So of course they're going to throw everything.
Lewis.
Exactly. So we shouldn't be surprised that they're going to do all that and sacrifice maybe the first 2 years of the new regulations. Listen, they need one. They're starving. They ain't won since Vettel, so this is what we've got to do. That's what they have to do completely. Let's speak about a Red Bull driver. Cici, you are the CEO of Pérez Hive. What is going on with this driver? He had an awful weekend from Quali where I know he was towing Max, but guess what? Gasly was towing him, and you was lapping slower than Gasly. So there's big problems of him extracting the most out of that car. And it's something that's concerning. We thought it was going to improve after the summer break. Let me know what's going on with Pérez.
Phew. I don't know. I actually have no actual answer because the other day I was so annoyed. I don't know if it was, I can't remember what race it was. It was the last race or whatever. He has awful qualifying. Awful. It's like his, I don't know. It's like his downfall. It's his absolute downfall because he will start 10, 11, 12 and overtake and do all this amazing stuff. But it's like, why are you making it so hard on yourself? You see yesterday's race or even other races, he should be the one catching like these poles where Max crashes out, where these things happen. That should be him collecting those points because you are in the fastest car. When Bottas, last year, when it was Bottas and Hamilton, at least Bottas was sticking it like second, constantly. It was 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Perez, you have the, okay, that's second best car. No matter what you say, he should do better. All this overtaking and like I said, he's an amazing driver when it comes to actually racing. But qualifying is letting him down and it's becoming extremely frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. Everyday recovery drive. Sometimes just drive well and just have a good weekend. I can't remember the last time he's had a consistently good weekend. I've not seen it. Someone can tell me if they have, but I haven't.
France maybe.
What did he do? I don't remember.
He finished
Podium,
second.
third.
Was he third or second?
And did he have
Third.
Did he have a good race?
I feel like that was recovery drive.
Exactly. I've not seen it was a recovery drive. I don't think I've ever seen him have just a comfortable drive. As much as I berate Bottas, as much as I fight him and whatnot, and as much as I say that he's not good, he's not this, he's not that, at least when they had the stronger car last season, he was doing what he had to do. I'm not saying he wasn't challenging Lewis in any way, shape, or form, but at least like on Fridays he was there, Saturdays he was there. It was 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Lewis pipping him at the end. Like that's how it should be, even if you're not gonna be fighting for the championship. I just personally, I don't know what he needs to do. I don't know. But this has always been his flaw. I just thought this was the year it would get better. But it just hasn't. Even when he was at Racing Point, his first win was a recovery drive. Like everything I've seen, as much as it makes it fun and he gets gassed, I just still think it's not enough now. Like, you're a big man. Can you not just put one quali together? Like, please.
The weekend that he did put a quali together and like, I don't know, stuck it on P2 was Imola, and then he had the worst race I've ever seen in Imola. So
he hasn't had a full good weekend. Even the other weekend when the race didn't happen and my guy just smashed into the wall. Just no one. It wasn't even a race. There wasn't anything happening. You were just driving the car and you hit it. I'm sorry.
Hey, so some may say that this is a Fugazi Red Bull car, the second Red Bull car. It's not a real one. It's an AlphaTauri in disguise. But even then, Gasly's doing a madness in an AlphaTauri. So we can't use that excuse.
I don't think so. I think it's his quali. His quali has always been his downfall. It's just a bit shocking how big the gap is. I don't think I'd be that vexed if he was coming in, like starting P4. Starting P5 even. I don't think I'd be that angry, but sometimes he's down in P8, P9. Like, come on. Like, that's too far. That's way too far. I personally think. Like, yeah.
Okay. Do we think, collectively, is he still doing better than Albon and Gasly in that seat?
Depends which way you want to look at it, really. I mean, you say is he doing a lot worse on Saturdays than Albon and Gasly?
Yeah, Saturdays.
At the stats, probably he is. But is he doing a lot better on the Sunday with his recovery drives? I mean, I guess so. But
yeah,
you need to think, with Gasly, he had, he only had like 12 races really. Yeah, and Albon had like 3 times the amount of time as well, to be fair. So, and they're a lot less experienced than Checo. So it depends which way you want to analyze and look at it, really. But you say, I don't know.
Listen,
Gasly and Albon are a lot better off now without being with Red Bull. Well, unless Albon sticks.
I think Pérez is dependable. Pérez is dependable on a Sunday. I think that's maybe the one thing I can give him as being a dependable driver on a Sunday.
Dependable in what sense? Because if he's not there to back Max, what's he dependable?
Dependable as in he will get you points. He will finish maybe like 6, 7, like might have a great.
Yeah, he's not doing what Albon was doing, where they're finishing P13 and that.
This is my point. Like Albon wasn't getting him any points. Albon was just like Albon would have a better Saturday, but his Sunday would be not great. Whereas Pérez, you'd be like, oh, well, if they come out at their pit stop here, they're going to be behind Pérez, and Pérez isn't going to make it easy for them to pass. And Pérez is a good defensive driver as well as a good overtaker. So that's why I think that he's dependable on Sunday, which is a very good advantage. But I think that's why I said that his one flaw for me is his quali. If he fixed his quali, I don't think he would have too many issues.
He's very close to fraud watch. He's very,
Oh, yeah,
very,
he should
very
be. He should be
close to
on.
fraud
He should be
He's
on the
on
list.
watch. He's on watch.
watch. We're gonna put him on the watch.
No, he
He's
should
on
be on
watch. He's on watch right now.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just the racing; it's the stupid things that he's doing. He's getting involved in stupid accidents. He's getting involved in, it's simple race rules. You overtake when you go off track. You give the place back. Like it's the ABCs of Formula One, right? Of a modern Formula One drive.
Red Bull said don't do it.
I get it, but like he's an experienced driver. He shouldn't be getting those. I mean, what
Fair
race
excuses, man.
What was the other race? What was the other race where he got like 2 5-second penalties? Also,
Austria. Yeah.
Was it Austria?
He got a 5-second penalty. He got a 5-second penalty yesterday, mate.
Exactly, like
yeah.
like,
it's a lot of bonehead decisions from Checo that we weren't seeing when he was in the pink Mercedes. So I don't know why him in that Red Bull seat is making him move mad like this, but yeah, it's scary. I can't lie.
Checo's been about for a minute and a half still, like
for a minute. Mclaren
he's not a new driver, right? He's been through the trenches. He's been a backmarker. He's been a midfield guy. And now he's on a top car that should be fighting for the championship. I mean, I'll give it at the start of the year. I thought it was gonna put Max on a pack. Like I thought it was coming with that.
You had an L there still.
Yeah, I'm catching the L right now. And Chris told us, like Chris said, you guys are rating Checo a bit too high. It doesn't do well on Saturdays. And we were like, nah, because of the car, he's in a better car.
I thought he would improve. I did, but I let that go.
But Checo,
he has a problem extracting 100% and putting a car on the limit. He can't do like
single lap race speed.
Is it PTSD?
It's not like Russell.
Is it PTSD from having slow cars? Like you don't know if you can push because you don't know if the car's going to be able to push. You don't want to break down the car because you're pushing too hard. I don't know. Like I don't know why man's scared. Like
I don't know.
He just doesn't have it. I'm so sorry.
He's depressing me. I got stocks again, man. He's doing much. He's doing too much. We'll talk about another guy, Kunle's guy, the other guy that's on fraud watch, trying to fight his way out of it. The driver of the weekend, like Richard said. Give us. This is a rare thing on Pitstop Fracas for us to give Bottas praise, and we're gonna let Kunle, the major shareholder, speak on it.
You know what? It's been a long season, yeah. We've been in the trenches, We've had the young Georgie come to the side of the car and give us a little tap on the head, like little bro. This time we got years on George, it's been hard, but I'm glad, the future is sorted. We're driving at Alpha next year. No pressure, no more. Just go out there, just drive. You're not worried. Whatever happens, you're leaving Mercedes. Whatever happens, you're leaving. So there's the freedom of driving. You drive. You're just doing Mercedes. You're just doing them a favor by, let's get one last championship together, and that's my parting gift to you because I'll just be a better second driver than Pérez, and we're winning this. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I hope it stays this way. And there's been weekends where it's looked like Bottas would have it. It's put it together on Friday. It's done decently on Saturday, and then the race comes and it goes away. And there's times where it's looked good on Friday, and then Saturday comes and it doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. And there's also been times where like the team's messed up strategy and they've put him where he's not meant to be, or they've not been able to put a wheel on the car. And he's lost out points, but he looks like, and now he's going into like what is probably his favorite track, which is Sochi. I think he loves driving in Sochi. So hopefully that's another strong weekend. And with 8 races to go, just continue building, make sure that P3 is secured, and help Lewis in any way you can. And there really isn't much to praise or much to take away from Valtteri. Again, everyone that watches F1 knows. It almost is like a confidence driver. He needs something to like help his ego. He needs something to help him relax. And knowing that his future is sorted and he's not going to be driving in the Williams. But I think even though I feel like the Alfa Romeo might be a worse car, but he's not going to the trenches. He's not going back to. You're not going back to you're not leaving Chelsea and Kensington to go back to a council flat still. So I really do hope he gets to show the kind of driver he is, because I personally feel like he is not as bad as people make him out to be. He's not as dangerous as Nab would say he is. He's a decent F1 driver that would give you a decent, almost consistent performance racing where it's at. I remember Williams Bottas, and I always feel like he's never been that. Again, if you go into the same team with Lewis and you see the mentality that man comes with, I know that breaks a lot of drivers. And I think that's the mistake he probably made. He went into that Mercedes seat thinking, I'm competing with Lewis, and then James is Valtteri. Valtteri is James, and that just kills off any confidence you have as a driver. They're telling you to move out of the way, let the top dog come through. That's not going to help your confidence. But now he's going to a new team, new engineers, new everything. Let's see what happens next year.
He has to get out of the way if he's second and Lewis is second and he's first. He has to get out of the way.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
But he has to get out of the way.
Yeah, he does have to get out of the way.
And he might stop listening to team orders on the low. But,
no. I feel like he knows at this point of the season, if it's a 1-2 situation and 1-2 is sort of secured, he would probably have to get out of the way, or they'll probably just tell him. Or if he's too far off the road, maybe 20 seconds off the road, but the next driver behind Lewis is still probably another 30 seconds behind Lewis or something like that, they'll probably just put him in for a pit stop and say, come in, let Lewis go, and then you don't attack, But I don't think they would have that luxury this year, but let's see.
Yeah,
I think he did well this week. I'm not gonna lie. I have to give him his.
I'll give him his flowers. Let's give him his flowers.
Give him his flowers. It was driver of the week.
Congratulations, Valtteri Bottas.
Thank you.
Before we go, driver of the day, Danny Rick, redemption arc. You are officially off Fraud Watch forever. I am fighting your case.
Yes.
I'm fighting your case.
No, not forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll say yeah.
Not forever.
He won a race in a McLaren.
Not
True.
forever.
Not forever.
Why not forever?
For the rest of the season.
Okay, if Vettel can be on Fraud Watch, he can be on Fraud Watch too.
Vettel is moving mad. Let's not speak on it.
Allow it.
I don't want to get us cancelled if I speak on Vettel.
You know what? Yeah, Vettel was getting beat up this weekend, bro. Everybody was fisting man up.
Stroll do a madness on him. Danny Rick.
Yeah, shout out Danny Rick, man. I'm happy for Danny Rick.
Welcome.
He's had a rough time.
Yeah, even though the shoe
is a very rough time. I've said bad things.
I've said bad things.
I'm a passionate fan.
Yeah,
and I was very upset.
Because we love McLaren, right?
But I love McLaren. Kunle loves McLaren. Look, he's got the orange do-rag on. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
But congratulations, Danny Rick. You are the driver of the day. Fantastic drive. I never felt such happiness when you dusted Max on that first corner. I needed that, and you held him behind, and you got the race win.
He was never going to give it to Max. Oh, he was never.
So I just hope it continues. I hope he brings us another win, and I need Lando to get another win as well. But yeah, Danny Rick, welcome back. You will not hear bad from me for a very, very long time. CC wants to put you on Fraud Watch later on down the line, but
no,
we'll see. You said you forever. He's off the list. No, he's off.
He can't be forever off the list though. I'm not gonna say that. That's all.
Not forever. It's forever. He had the stripes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Last thing. Last one. Our fans, they voted. People on our account have voted. Verstappen, Mazepin Award, deserved. Richard.
Yeah. It's Max just being Max. He was acting like a bonehead.
Bozo weekend.
Yeah, Bozo weekend. Bozo Gene. Max just being Max. Angry youth syndrome. Pull up and crash on ops. All that bullshit that he does like a drill artist. Just he deserves it. So yeah, sorry.
yeah, we're not going to give much time to people that are moving like terrorists. That's what he was doing on Sunday after he's lost his head. So
just to
Yeah,
shout
yeah,
out,
just-
to shout out.
There's a couple of the terrorists as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Mercedes
Mercedes.
strategy teams. This whole, I think if we have a Mazepin award of the season, at the moment, Mercedes are top. Just
we've been onto him from a very long time, you know.
For a
We
minute
spotted
now,
it from early.
and it's becoming
We spotted it
annoying.
early.
It's costing
They're
Lewis.
moving back.
That's what he's saying at the moment.
Lewis might be long gone by now if it weren't for them, you know. They're holding them back.
And also Lewis is saving them. He's not only
Yeah, but he's been saving them for a long time.
He's been saving them, but this season it's been shocking how he's been saving them. Okay, Lewis, it's hammer time now. Okay.
Yeah, we need to do a deep dive on them.
We'll do a deep dive. We're going to do an
jobs.
investigation on people.
Yeah,
People thought, why
definitely.
did we put them on the fraud watch list? We know we put them on the fraud watch list for a reason.
Yeah.
We get proved wrong every week. But yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for listening. Catch us on the socials. Follow us at Pitstop Fracas. Give us a like on YouTube. Give us your comments. We'd love to hear your comments. And hit us up on the hashtag Pitstop Fracas on Twitter. And we will be back next week with a special episode. So thank you for listening. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye.